What's up, everyone? My name is Kevin. I'm the drummer for 30 is Dead. Going to talk about my drums today. I do one of these videos about every year or two to go over just what I'm playing, what's changed, what hasn't. So this is the current kit that I'm playing. I've had this one for probably 10 years, but it's not been the one I've been playing live in the past couple years. This is my Tama Starclassic Birch Babinga in the hyperdrive sizes, which basically means the toms are a little bit on the shallow side, but the bass drum is a little bit on the deeper side. So I think in my last couple of videos I was playing my Gretsch Brooklyn kit. Still have that kit. That one and this one here I will never sell, and I really just rotate them around depending on what I'm doing. This one here I like a little better for backline situations, when I'm letting somebody play on my drums. The main reason is the shallow toms are really easy to tune. So if I sit down on this kit after someone else has played it before me, it's really quick to get these drums back in the tune. And then I've had it for longer. I've had it for a decade. The Gretsch kit I've only had for 3 or 4 years, and so I'm just more familiar. So that might play a role in it too. But I can tune this kit up really quickly. So that's kind of a factor when I'm playing a lot, and I just need to get it to sound where I want it to, both for me and if someone else is playing it. This one is just easier to do that on. I've got a new bass drum head. That's my dog Fenway with the sunglasses on there. Basically, we took a picture of him, and then I went in and kind of edited it, added some sunglasses, gave it kind of a little bit of like a cartoon kind of filter thing on there, and got that made. So that looks pretty cool. Let's see, running the Sonor Benny Greb brass snare. I can't remember if I had that in the last video or not, but that is just an amazing snare. The two internal dampeners really make it easy to dial in the overtones and get it where you want without having to add, moon gel or tape or anything like that on the drum head. So that's great. That's, get your sound you want quickly. Let's see, we see on the lugs, I do have the rock locks on there, and then I've got whatever the Gibraltar version of kind of the same thing is on the toms. Those help really well. The drums can still, they can adjust a tiny bit, but really it holds them in pretty good on their tune. I don't really have to touch it a lot. And again, that kind of factors into the other stuff I was saying. If you're doing any sort of backlining or any sort of other stuff like that, or if you're just, you're playing a lot of shows, you're packing them up, you're tearing them down, they're sitting in the garage, they're in your car, they're in the venue. There's a lot of variables that can make the drums go in and out of tune. So that's just another small tool to just keep them where you want. Let's see, cymbals. I think I've had a few changes here. So I'm running Sabian cymbals. So we've got the HHX complex medium hi-hat. I think I had that one last time. These others are different. So I've got two of the Sabian Stratus crashes. I've got an 18 and I've got a 19. I'm a huge fan of these. Basically, they're one of the few intermediate cymbals. So they're made out of the B20 bronze, the good bronze, but the price point on these is kind of in the middle between something from like the HHX line and then like a more budget line. But I really like that for crashes because I'm just beating the crap out of them. And when I'm out playing shows and doing all that, I don't really want to have really expensive crashes. I have some HHX Evolution crashes that I really like in the same size. And then I use those for like the studio and that sort of thing. But the Stratus, like, it's just such a good line for when you're playing shows and stuff. They sound good too. They're a little on the thinner side. They've got a little bit of a darker character to them. You don't have to hit them hard to get them to open up and cut through, but they are just excellent cymbals for playing shows. My ride, I've used a couple of rides. So this one on here now is my favorite one. I don't play it at every show. Reason is because it is actually a prototype. It's a Sabian prototype power bell ride. So it has that huge bell, that huge raw bell on there. But the bow of the cymbal is just a little bit wider than most of those. And it's got a really great sound. I love this cymbal. But again, being a prototype, you know, I still play it out, but if I'm going any distance or doing any real traveling, doing out of state stuff, you know, I'm going to use probably a different ride. But playing locally, I'll break this one out. I have a Sabian HHX Legacy ride that I bring out. So when I am doing other stuff, that's the cymbal I'll take in place of this one. But I do really love this cymbal. Let's see, pedals. We're still running the DW 5000 chain drive with the XF footboard. Those are great. Basically, you get a little bit longer footboard, but you're still running the chain drive. I like that because you get a good, you know, power kind of feel on the pedals. That's kind of part of the chain drive thing. I've used direct drive pedals, especially when I was playing metal. But for playing the punk stuff and in, you know, a lot of shows we're playing, you know, usually bass drum's mic'd up, but, you know, it's not always. Sometimes we play some of these random, you know, little dive bars and stuff. I just want that extra power, but I still love having the longer footboard. So those are good. These stands, I can't remember. I think I had these last time. These DW 6000 series flat bass stands, and these are the ones, they're not the super lightweight ones. They're like one step up from that. I can't remember the exact number, 6400 maybe. But they're in the 6000 series. It's the ones that are just one step up from the really thin flat bass stands. But these are nice because they're a little bit sturdier. They've got those memory locks you can see right there. They don't really go anywhere. You know, you might get a little stand movement, but I've never had one like walk away on me or anything. And then they're just way wider than a double brace stand. These things are a lifesaver. The other thing, and I mentioned it early in the video, so, you know, playing punk, there's a lot of backline situations. If I'm letting somebody use my cymbal stands, I really like being able to get away with the straight stand. When I was using boom stands, everybody would just move the boom all over. And then same thing for the tom. That's another reason why I have it on a stand and not mounted on, you know, a cymbal stand or anything like that. There's just less that can be changed. And when you're playing a lot of shows, sometimes simple it's just better. And with these having those flat-based legs on there, you can still get this cymbal anywhere you want it. You don't need the boom. And so it's just easier. It can only really go up and down. And then, you know, the angle you're going to tilt the cymbal at. So if somebody else is using this, it's really quick for me to get it back where I want it. And I like that. So that's kind of, you know, part of the roadworthy tips that I find out along the way, you know, to switch to using those type of stands to save weight, to make it easier to set up. And, you know, again, same thing with the tom stand. Let's see, I'm trying to think what I've forgotten here. Let's see, we're using Remo heads here. We've got the black dots up there. You'll notice I don't have any muffling on that tom. I've just got a small one on the floor tom. That's another reason that I like this particular kit. It's just, you know, it doesn't require a lot of muffling or extra stuff to get it where I want. I can kind of let them sing. And again, a snare, I mentioned it's got those two internal dampeners, so I don't have to put anything on there. And we're running an Emperor X coated head on there. That's a strong head, you know, I'm smacking the crap out of that thing. So that's pretty much it. I'll get a few other shots here of it. We've got some new songs coming out. We just dropped Lucy Lou and Rerun. We've got 3 more coming from that EP as well. So be sure to check those out. And you guys have a great day.